with how much content comes out, having that skill on your list can only help you. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Megan. I'm an aspiring TV writer and I'm sharing my journey breaking into the industry here on YouTube. Today, I wanted to talk about some hard skills that you can learn that can be a really huge help for success in the entertainment industry. These are things that can be really useful all throughout the industry and really teach you how the industry operates. So the first thing is video editing. Of course, video editing is a huge thing in this industry. Anything that gets filmed needs to eventually be edited. Even as a writer, understanding video editing and how things get cut and how that whole process works, for me as a writer, that makes me a better writer. I can write understanding where cuts are going to be made, where editing is going to happen, how different things need to be cut after they're filmed. Video editing is also great because that's a job that you can get if you know how to do it. That's great work to get. And on top of that, you can do that as your first job just to get into the industry, and then you're working around the kind of people you want to be. You can start kind of networking and all of that, but also it can be a side hustle if you need a second job to support these entry-level salaries. You don't need to be this fancy editor, but if you can at least do the basics, you'll get a better understanding. The next thing I want to talk about is writing and really just storytelling in general. I know I'm a writer, so this is a little bit biased, but I really do believe that the entertainment industry is an industry of storytelling. And if you want to succeed in it as a writer or anywhere else in the process, understanding the fundamentals of storytelling and why people love a story and why people connect with a story, I think you can only make a better outcome if you've got that basis that you're coming from. So again, you don't need to be the best writer in the world. You don't need to be writing all your own scripts. But if you have the skills to write your own scripts, it's just, again, another area where you can work in different places, where you can bring different skills. But even just reading books about storytelling, reading memoirs or biographies of writers, watching TV and films, just with the perspective of paying attention and analyzing the story and why it works. Take one script writing class in college or watch a YouTube channel of somebody who is a writer in the industry or just a writer in general. Paying attention to story, I think, is the root of what this industry is about. It's also really helpful to know how to plan travel and really in general just any other assistant or support staff tasks. When you start in this industry, it's very common to start at the assistant or support staff level. So if you have an understanding of what tasks need to be done and how to do them going in, it's going to make you a much more ideal candidate for any jobs. It can get you in the door and it'll make you better at the jobs from the get-go, which will make you better to work with and be somebody that employers want to recommend for roles or create networks and all sorts of connections. So travel planning, I say specifically because all throughout the industry, like, travel is so important, not just for like personal reasons, but films get shot in different countries or even just different states. And sometimes, with film festivals, there needs to be travel planning. It's those little things that add up, and they're things that you can do before you're even in the industry. And that's what this is all about, is preparing to be in the industry so you start in it stronger and more ready. Coverage can also be a really great skill to have. Again, as a writer, this comes in handy a lot, and it's pretty forefront to being a writer in the industry. And what I mean by coverage is providing feedback and information on somebody's script and writing. Now, the reason I talk about this is, one, being able to understand why something is or is not working and how to communicate that is vital. Even if you're not working on the writing side of things, just being able to look at something that's happening in the actual filming and in the story and understand why it works or does not, and being able to say, okay, here's what I think is going wrong, and even here's what I think would work better, can be such a huge help. It doesn't have to be anything major or professional. Just work with some friends that you know have writing that they'd like feedback on and start practicing with them. Start looking at your own writing, if you are a writer, from a more analytic approach and through as much of an objective eye as you can get. Even just that can help you out so much. I said this last video, filming anything is very expensive. So if you know how to fundraise or budget, you're gonna go into the entire filming process in a much more realistic way. One, knowing how to raise money for something, but also understanding how budgets get broken down is really, really helpful. Even better is if you can start looking at film budgets or show budgets and understanding how different aspects of a set need to be budgeted out. If you can go into the industry with that practice, with frameworks for how you work with money and how it relates to a business sense, you can provide a lot of help and support to the set around you. And lastly, I want to talk about customer service. I'm sure it's no surprise that sometimes in the entertainment industry, there are people who are not so fun to work with or be around. You hope that's not the case, but sometimes it is. And if you have skills in dealing with different kinds of people, or as we all know with customer service, dealing with very, very annoying people and people that are typically difficult to deal with, that can really set you up nicely, because if you're able to keep your cool and still act professional and keep the environment professional, even in situations like that, it's going to take you a lot farther. And I'm not saying that people should have to deal with these kinds of things, but the reality is there is a presence of not always the kind of people you want to be around. And part of making it through this industry is dealing with that and knowing how to deal with that. So if you have experience that can aid in that, all the better. Now, this video was just about hard skills that can help you out in the industry, but let me tell you, there are so many soft skills that make a world of a difference in this industry. So let me know if you want a follow-up video about soft skills that, again, make all the difference. I can definitely film a video on that. Next week, I am going to be doing a writing vlog, working on the first draft of the script I'm on right now. So let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about in that video, my writing process, or anything like that. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up so I know this is the kind of content you want to see. If there are any other videos you want to see on my channel, let me know in the comments section. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe and press the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos I post every week. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye!